Tesla will be good. Tesla is one of the 20 companies around the world with the fastest growing rates for 2022. Because of this growth, they were able to move up in the ranks. Tesla was number 4 on the list of the top 20 fastest growing companies after China National Coal Group, CMA CGM, and Ansteel Group. Even though there was a shortage of automotive semiconductors around the world, Tesla delivered a record 935,950 cars around the world in 2021. Since the second quarter of 2022, deliveries have been steadily growing year over year. So what has helped Tesla grow so much, and how Tesla stands out? Let's find out in today's video. With a 68% market share, Tesla is still the leader in the US electric car market. As more EVs come out on the market, this share is going down. But the drop is slow, and the automaker is increasing the number of cars it ships to the US. Tesla has ruled the electric car market in its home country for years. As more EV options come out and help the US market grow, Tesla's hold on the market is expected to weaken. However, for now, the US EV market is still very dependent on Tesla's production and deliveries. For the whole year of 2020, 79% of all new electric cars that were registered in the United States were Teslas. In 2021, that number went down to 69.95%, which is still an impressive number because both the number of EV deliveries and Tesla's prices went up a lot during the year. Now that we have the numbers for the first half of 2022, Tesla is still the leader in the US EV market with a 68% market share. Registration data from Experian were used to come up with that number. When you think about how Tesla kept its lead, or more accurately, only lost 1% of the market, while other automakers that make electric cars increased their US deliveries by 58% in the first half of the year, that's pretty impressive. It turns out that Tesla has one of the highest gross profit margins in the industry. This is because it only costs Tesla an average of $36,000 to make one of its electric cars. Many car companies can only dream of a healthy 29% profit margin, but Tesla is determined to bring down production costs even more in the future. Last week, Tesla reported its best quarterly and annual earnings ever, with a net profit of $2.32 billion for quarter 4 and a $5.5 billion annual profit on $53.8 billion in sales for 2021. This is the most money Tesla has ever made in a single quarter, and that's a little more than 10% of the company's net income for the year. But the real profit margin on making electric cars is much higher. In Tesla's most recent earnings report, there's a tidbit that says the company's direct cost of goods sold, COGS, for making an electric car in the second half of 2021 was $36,000. That's how much it costs to buy the parts and put together the average Tesla car. A Model S Plaid or Model Y will of course cost more to make than Model 3, which starts at an MSRP of $45,000, but Tesla's gross margin on all of its cars is said to be very healthy. It took Tesla 17 years to make a profit. The company said that 2020 would be the first full year in its history in which it would make money. Even though the company makes a lot of money from car sales and tax credits, it took a while to start making money because of production costs and problems with the supply chain. When looking at a company, it's important to think about the different ways it makes money and the costs that go along with them. Most of Tesla's money comes from selling cars, but the energy side of the business is getting better. Emission credits and the sale of these credits were really what kept Tesla going. Since Tesla makes electric cars, it gets carbon credits from government programs that encourage clean energy. Tesla then sells these credits to other automakers like General Motors, GM, plus 0.4%. Critics are quick to point out that these competing automakers will eventually figure out how to make electric cars without the help of Tesla's regulatory credits. In its 2022 second quarter earnings report, Tesla said that its total revenue was up 42% year over year to $16.9 billion. This was due to more cars being sold, a higher average selling price, and growth in other parts of the business. Tesla said it had sent out 295,324 Model 3 and Model Y cars and 14,724 Model S and X cars. The number of directives went up slightly from the previous quarter's 308,600 and was higher than 184,800 deliveries Tesla made in the first quarter of 2021. which is a 68% increase from the same time last year. On the production side, Tesla said that it had made 305,407 cars in the last 3 months. The company has also kept up its trend of making more money per car. In the first quarter of 2022, its gross automotive margin was 32.9%, up from 26.5% in the first quarter of 2021. In its notes to investors, the company says it raised the average selling price of its cars and increased the number of cars it was delivering. Tesla handled the global supply chain crisis better than its competitors, and for several quarters it had record sales and profits. By getting different chips and rewriting software on the spot, the company was able to avoid the same problems that other global automakers were having. Tesla was also busy in ways that had nothing to do with its finances. The company got recall notices for a number of broken features, such as a pedestrian warning sound that was being drowned out by loud music played on the boombox speakers, and a part of the full self-driving beta software that let vehicles roll through some stop signs without coming to a complete stop. But what is it about Tesla that makes it the most valuable car brand in the world? When you think about how many cars Tesla sells, it's even more surprising that the company is valued so highly. In 2021, Tesla made and sold close to 1 million vehicles. Now, 1 million might seem a big number, but when we look at how many cars are made on a global scale, we see that 1 million isn't that much. Tesla's share of the market is around 1% of the market as a whole. Tesla has been able to build a brand image that sticks with customers. This is clear from the fact that Tesla can sell a lot of cars even though it makes a lot of money on each one. Most high-end car companies can make a gross margin of between 15% and 20%, but Tesla's profit margin is close to 30%, which is almost twice as much as traditional car companies. Tesla's ability to keep selling cars even though they cost more says a lot about how good they are at marketing and how well they know their customers. This is even more impressive when you consider that Tesla doesn't spend any money advertising its products, while its competitors have huge budgets for advertising. Also, Tesla has made something unique called the Powerwall. Powerwalls store energy from the sun so it can be used on days when there isn't enough energy from the sun. Tesla is known to spend 3 to 4 times as much as its competitors on research and development. The money Tesla spends on research and development is what puts it ahead of its competitors. Tesla is always coming up with new ideas, like cars that drive themselves. In the end, this means that both traditional media outlets and social media sites are forced to cover their vehicles. This is free word-of-mouth advertising, which helps the company's sales in the long run. Tesla decided to do something different in the market for electric cars. Most companies tried to make cheaper electric cars, but they couldn't because the cost of making them was too high. Based in price, companies could not compete with cars that ran on fossil fuels. Tesla went in the opposite direction when it came to the market. Tesla was the first company to make electric cars popular in the luxury car market. The money from these expensive cars goes into research and development to lower the price of cars for people who can't afford the most expensive ones. Once Tesla gets into the lower end of the market, it will have a good reason to do so. Also, Tesla's success in the high-end car market has made people more open to the idea of electric cars. Tesla has clearly always been a company that puts data collection and analysis at the center of everything it does. It's not just design and production either. The company uses AI to process customer data and even reads the text of its online forum to learn about common problems. We don't know if this focus will help them win the coming battle for the top spot in the market for self-driving cars, but it has given them a head start. With a mix of technology and business smarts, Tesla has completely changed an old industry. It's a great example of how a new business should be run.